Hello and a warm welcome to the start of the 2014 GT Asia Championship. Jonathan Green bringing you all the action from Korea International Circuit. As we kick off another big year of GTs, we'll see the series visit top circuits around the region, including here in Korea, as well as stops in Japan, Malaysia, China, and finishing off at the biggest race on the Asian calendar, the famous Macau Grand Prix. Fantastic venues, some of the world's and the region's top drivers, and without doubt, the world's finest GT cars. And it all starts here for round one at the Korea International Circuit. Location-wise, the venue is in Yeonggam, about 400 kilometers south of Seoul, and was built and designed by Herman Tilke to host the Korean Formula One Grand Prix back in 2010. So then, perfect conditions for the first round of the GT Asia Championship for 2014. A long way to go until they hit Macau for the final round. It all starts here, and conditions absolutely perfect. A few new drivers, a few new teams, and definitely some new cars involved. Once again, it's that Aston Martin leading them away on the warm-up lap. And the Aston Martin Vantage V12 GT3 has been one of the favourites. Here is the Korea International Circuit, 5.6 kilometres and defined by that over 1.2 kilometre straight. Caldarelli in the Aston Martin in pole. Kitasawa behind him. Rob Bell joins the championship in third position. Craig Baird also joining the championship. Warren Luff from Australia. Davide Rizzo, the Italian. Alex Young, a familiar face, of course, to Asia. The Malaysian Formula One driver Massimiliano in 8th position. These are the men who will start the race. Marchi Lee and Jeffrey Lee pairing up again. Kim Tam-sung and Natasha Sita trying out GTs for the first time. Delantha Malagamua from Sri Lanka, of course, a former champion and a stalwart of this championship. Looking further down, we've got the GTM championship as well. So it's GT3 and GTM. And watch out for Takuma Aoki. He did a race last year in this championship. The former Grand Prix motorcycle rider, now in a wheelchair, but racing just as hard as anybody else. A rolling start as Andrea Caldarelli in the Aston Martin Vantage V12 GT3 leads them across the line. The 458 Ferraris will be looking for position. Out go the lights, and the Aston Martins quickly spreading out behind. The McLaren's got a good start, so too the Ferrari of Kitasawa, and in fact it's Sauer that leads. On the inside is Caldarella. And into turn two they go, and down that long straight, 1.2 kilometers, and that's going to sort out the horsepower as they head down that long straight. And once again, the Aston Martin gets back in charge. Andrea Caldarelli hits the front again, but he's being chased hard by the Ferraris, and it's anybody's game. The McLaren's in the mix too. And that's Rob Bell at the inside, and he's taken both of them. Excellent stuff by the man from Newcastle in Great Britain. As wide goes Caldarelli, loses out and goes first and third in just a matter of corners. But that long straight did sort out a lot of drivers, and the McLaren now leads. But Kitasawa makes another move up the inside of the Ferrari. Excellent stuff by the Japanese. A really aggressive start, but he's gone wide, and through goes Bell again. Rob Bell picks up the lead again. Back further now with Warren Luff, the Australian, coming into the championship. Bags of GT and, of course, V8 experience with Warren Luff. Father Ian Luff, a very famous driver himself. Warren Luff now trying to chase down Massimiliano, and just ahead of him, Alex Young in the Audi R8. So a very, very aggressive start. But it is Rob Bell of Great Britain in the GT3 McLaren MP412C who leads the way as we go back on board with the Australian Warren Luff. And Luff watching this battle as Massimiliano. Massimiliano comes together with Alex Young. The Aston Martin smashing into the Audi then. And that's not going to help matters, surely, in terms of damage anyway. And Warren Luff just waiting for his moment. He wants to keep out of trouble for now because he doesn't want to get embroiled with these two as they bang each other about. Back with the leaders now. As we come to the bottom part of this circuit, it's Bell from Sauer. Caldarelli, who had the pole position, drops down to third place, but it's early days yet But already the McLaren of Rob Bell, he'll be teaming up with Hiroshi Hamaguchi of Japan, leading the way as they come out of that last corner here in Korea and onto the main straight again. So the McLaren building on that lead now. Of course, mandatory pit stops where they swap drivers. Not all of the cars swap drivers, but most of them do, and it's a mandatory stop. So I know that Rob will be trying to build that lead, so when he swaps over, he's got as much of an advantage as he can to hand over to Hamaguchi. But here's what happened, how he took the lead. Rob Bell brilliantly up the inside, and I think he caught the leaders, Caldarelli and Kitasawa, napping as he went into the right-hander there, because he took both of them in one foul swoop. Excellent overtake. Here's Alex Young in the wars, the former Formula One driver, banging his way through, and he was involved in an incident as well. Let's hope there's no damage to his car. That was Kitasawa going through on the inside, but he just couldn't hold the line, had to stay wide, and through went the McLaren again. So plenty of action early on, and plenty to talk about in the pits. But as it is, the lights are on the McLaren as Rob Bell tries to build that lead. Caldarelli still in third place. Craig Baird, great to see him in the championship in fourth position, ahead of Young. Then Massimiliano just behind him, and that battle continuing between those two. So things starting to settle down a little bit as Rob Bell builds on that lead in the McLaren out front here in Korea. It's round one of the 2014 GT Asia Championship. We'll take a short break. We'll be back with more action after this. Welcome back to the 2014 GT Asia Championship, coming to you from Korea International Circuit, south of Seoul. A fantastic venue for these GT cars as we go on board once again with Warren Luff. And slightly wide goes Massimiliano, and this is a chance for Warren Luff to come up the inside as Rob Bell continues to lead ahead of Sauer. Caldarelli is still third, then Craig Baird, Alex Young just behind him, and Massimiliano on the inside there. Warren Luff going through, or does he? No, can't quite make it, and this is a good battle, and Visa Massimiliano gets knocked there by Warren Luff. Well, the former V8 guy not afraid to smash his way past, and as we go on board once again with the Aston Martin, they're side by side, the two of them, and just behind is Davide Riso in the GT3 Ferrari 458, so a great three-way battle between the two Aston Martins and the Ferrari, but Wizat Massimiliano will not give up that place. Warren Luff, very aggressive indeed, but he just can't get by. Here's another look, and he came up the inside there. But Massimiliano held his line, and watching on, Frank Yu and the rest of the boys really enjoying this, I'm sure, as we go back to the battle for 10th and 11th, and that's Malagamua and Kim Tak-sung, the local man, who's actually teamed up with the only female driver this weekend, Natasha Sita, of course, who's done some single-seater racing in Asia, but now trying out this series for the first time. It's a pretty good circuit and a pretty good year to join, but it's a very competitive field. And Matt Solomon, the man who was the sensation last year, just warming up. It's a rather unique way of getting ready on the skipping rope, and he might need it. Different way for Mot Wen-sung, former champion. He's just forgetting the skipping rope, he's just getting ready. And a pit stop starting to happen. Craig Baird, the first man in. That's a very early pit stop by Craig Baird in the Ferrari. Wonder if there's a problem there. Frank Yu watching on. What a great season last year Frank Yu had. And in comes Takuma Aoki in the number 34. And what a story this is. Aoki, of course, a paraplegic and in a wheelchair, but racing. And very much like Alex Zanardi. Agus heads out in his Ferrari. So the pit stops now, fast and furious. They've got to do a mandatory pit stop, and it's very tactical, this. Out goes Aoki. All three Aoki brothers racing in Grand Prix, racing in 250 and 500 back in the day, in the 90s, and in World Superbikes. In fact, Aoki won a World Superbike race. Richard Wee of Singapore doing his stop, and Craig Baird says, I'm done. I'm going to watch now. And Rob Bell, though, choosing to do one more lap, the Brit. And Rob Bell, vast experience, and so many of these drivers. Rob Bell, Daytona, Sebring, Le Mans, he's done it all, and now choosing to race in Asia. Caldarelli, who was the pole man, got beaten up at the start, and he now takes his pit stop. And Caldarelli will come in, and Fu Songyang of China will replace him. In comes the 32. Hiroshi Hamaguchi getting ready to get in. And this is an important stint for Hamaguchi because they can win this race, but Hamaguchi's now got to play his part, the Japanese. Caldarelli is out of the car, quickly the Italian. And in goes Fu. His Aston Martin Vantage V12 has been superb here in Asia. Anthony Liu also doing his change in number 37. He, of course, teammate to Davide Rizzo, who was earlier on. Matt Solomon, the 18-year-old, who came to fame somewhat by winning with Mika Hakkinen last year. What an opportunity that was for the young Hong Kong man. And relished that opportunity, and he's in the championship. Rob Bell looking a little bit hot, but happy. Frank Yu in the car. I'm really looking for a big season from Frank Yu. He really showed some signs of excellent driving last year and competitiveness, and I think he wants to take that into this season. Fu goes out, and, well, we knew there was going to be some repairs to the number 9 because it was knocked around heavily, Massimiliano's car, and as Yang Xin gets in, they're replacing the door. Kitasawa stops in the Ferrari. Kitasawa, what a story he's had over the last few years in the Carrera Cup and in GTs, of course. Mok Wen-sung, what a combination these two are. Kitasawa and Mok Wen-sung, two of the most experienced drivers, one from Singapore, one from Japan. Oh, and Jeffrey Lee's got a problem. Well, the Audi continues to have problems. They started badly last year, did Jeffrey Lee and Marchie Lee. Jeffrey Lee of Taiwan stopped as the safety car comes out because it's in a precarious position. And that will slow things down a little bit. And now the team managers come into their element and start to organize their drivers as best they can. Never an easy time, the safety car, especially on a long track like this, when the tire temperatures go down, and it's really important now that they tactically get this right because the cars are all bunched up, as you can see. McLaren leading the way with Hamaguchi. Mok Wen-sung just behind him, then Yu, Frank Yu just in 3rd place there. Solomon in 5th, just behind Liu, and then Fu in 6th place. So this is going to be a very important restart as Jeffrey Lee's car is dragged away. We hear it's clutch failure, the problem from the Audi. So the number 7, Absolute Racing, is out of this one. They'll be back for round 2. And as the safety car continues here in round 1, we'll take a short break. We'll be back with this very decisive restart from round 1. Welcome back to Korea International Circuit, where the safety car has just pulled off, and away we go racing again. It is Hamaguchi of Japan who leads the field in the McLaren across the line. Good restart by him, and he needs to make one too. Rob Bell did a superb job in his first stint to take the lead and then hand over to Hamaguchi in the mandatory 85-second pit stop. And no penalties so far. Mok in 2nd place. But look at the gap as they go down this long 1.2 kilometer straight, one of the longest straights in Asia, if not the longest, for sure. The Aston Martin still in 3rd place. And then the Ferrari of Rizzo. And Anthony Liu to go on board with Matt Solomon. A great restart. Wow, he takes 2 places. Can he get the turn in? Yes, just about. Well, Matt Solomon, the young 19-year-old, as we go on board with Takuma Aoki, who I was talking about earlier. He's having a great run in the GTM class. He makes up a place there, and he could be leading the GTM class, and wouldn't that be an historic win for him? But it's Hamaguchi, followed by Mok Wen-sung, the former champion, then Frank Yu in 3rd place. Anthony Liu is up to 4th now, ahead of Matt Solomon, who we saw get past Fu just a moment ago. And Hamaguchi doing an excellent job. Hiroshi Hamaguchi, who came into this championship last year, and is now teamed up with the Brit Rob Bell. Be a good combination. So too Frank Yu in the number 97, race with Stefan Muka, the factory Aston Martin driver, and he's now with Warren Luff, and Luff did an excellent job, and spinning round the number 3. Mok Wen-sung gets spun round by Frank Yu, and that's changed the face of this race completely. And just at the wrong time, Mok Wen-sung was quietly going about his business, so to speak, and he gets thrown round by Frank Yu. And look at the shock and horror. Kitasawa watching on as Frank Yu goes up to second place. Anthony Liu now up to third, and Matt Solomon in fourth. We have a superb finish on our hands for round one, and that's all been caused by Frank Yu. He'll be very sorry, I'm sure, that he did that. But that's racing, and everyone watching on, Warren himself looking rather concerned, and well, he might. Here's another look, and yep, Frank Yu up the inside and just taps the back of Mot Wen-sung. That's how easy it is. And sadly, for the Ferrari F458 GT3, it's all over. Kitasawa's hard work all comes to naught. Now, can Hamaguchi hold on? Back with Rizzo, who's through. Solomon will go through with him. Frank Yu lost a place there, and Rizzo goes to second. Solomon still in fourth, but now chasing down Frank Yu. Tense moments for everybody watching. It's only the first round, but each round counts for massive points, and given that they're going to race in Japan, Malaysia, China, and of course Macau at the end of the season. A lot of racing to come from this championship. And on to the last lap we go here in Korea for round one. Hamaguchi leads them down from turn 2 to turn 3. Just got to keep it all together now. He and Rob Bell have put on an excellent performance. Davide Rizzo, the Italian, watching on rather pensively as his man in second place now, starting to put the pressure on the McLaren. And Hamaguchi of Clearwater Racing at 2:11.3 is his best lap. But what can the Ferrari do? Anthony Liu at the wheel, pushing hard on the McLaren now. And this is the pressure that he doesn't want. Look how close the Ferrari's getting, and he's really pushing. You can see how hard he's pushing in second place there. And this is a good run by Anthony Liu. His teammate, Davide Rizzo, watching in the pits. You saw him earlier. And this is going to be a grandstand finish here in Korea as they come over the brow into the S's here. These are all fifth gear S's. And very fast indeed in the McLaren and the Ferrari. But there's nothing between them. And Anthony Liu, if anything, is looking faster. And the McLaren's going to have to hold on here. He's really putting the pressure on now. And Hamaguchi doing everything he can to defend. Looking in his mirrors. And it's all full of the red and yellow number 37. The Aston Martin's still circulating behind. But it's between McLaren and Ferrari for the win in round one. Bell and Hamaguchi. Hamaguchi had some great runs last year, and he's going to start his year very well indeed. He brings this off into the right-hander. Ooh, very wide this time by Liu. But he's pushing on. No, Hamaguchi spins it on his own. The pressure got too much, and the McLaren comes round, and that was no one's fault but his own. And just good pressure driving from the 37. And Anthony Liu is going to take a famous 2014 round one win for the Spirit of Race Ferrari and wiggles across the line. The McLaren just recovers to take second place. A disappointed Hiroshi Hamaguchi, I'm sure. But Davide Rizzo leaps with joy, I'm sure he will. Great stint by him. And well, it was a deserved win. They put the pressure on at just the right time. Coming across the line now, Frank Yu. And Aoki, GTM winner. Takuma Aoki, what a famous win that is for the man who doesn't have the use of his legs, but he can drive as fast as he can ride too, the former Grand Prix man. And he takes the GTM victory and thumbs up, and that is a historic win for the Japanese. It really, really is. And here's the moment where it all went wrong for the McLaren. Hiroshi Hamaguchi just losing it in the last corners. Nothing he could do. Can't put too much blame. He was under immense pressure throughout that last lap. And that's the way to do it. Anthony Liu, Spirit of Race, Ferrari, takes victory number one. There's Aoki, and look how delighted he is. Well, you can't say fairer than that. He and Alex Zanardi, absolute inspiration to everyone in motor racing. But Davide Rizzo and Anthony Liu take the victory in Korea ahead of Rob Bell and Hamaguchi. Warren Luff and Frank Yu in third position. Alex Young and Matt Solomon in fourth. There in the Audi, of course, ahead of Muzien and Agus in the Ferrari. Caldarelli, the pole man, in the end with Fu finishing in sixth place. So then the podium for surprise winners, I'm sure, Anthony Liu and David Rizzo, and that sets them up nicely for the season ahead in that Ferrari. Ferrari looking to go as well as they can, as is everyone in Asia. It's such an important market for these big sports cars. Aston Martin, Ferrari, all desperate to go well here, as are Audi, Porsche. Big names here in Asia, and they have been for the last decade. But it's Ferrari on top here in round one in 2014. Let's head down and hear from the winners, starting with Davide Rizzo and Anthony Liu.
Well, we were always going to push for the podium, and because on average pace, I think based on our calculations, we were P3 or P2. And well, safety car did help a bit. I think today we're a bit fortunate with the events, but tomorrow is a different story. We're going to be starting from pole position, and we'll see where we go from there.
Pretty much, because I saw at the beginning a bit of fighting, a bit aggressive fighting, and then I said, okay, just try to stay out of the troubles. And I want to give back the car in one piece to Anthony, so at the end I just tried to stay there as long as I can, and then this was enough.
So Hamaguchi and Bell had a good run in the McLaren MP4 12C. Until that moment, they have to settle for second place. Let's hear from them.
We thought we'd be somewhere near, but you're right, you know, we've kind of struggled this week with setup and getting used to the tyre. So we just plugged away and got better and better, and you know, I had a good first lap. The two guys in front I think they were occupied with each other and forgot about me, so I did my own thing and it worked out, and then just got my head down and had a good stint, you know. So I think maybe with the feel of the car was probably the best we've had all week, so we're quite happy with that, and that's all, you know, always good as you work all week and things come to you and you make improvements. So we did a good job in that respect.
Well, after the safety car, I had no grip whatsoever with the tires. Understeer entry and oversteer mid-corner. I was just trying to stay on track, but I guess I couldn't. I'm just disappointed and I feel bad for the team and Rob, but we gotta shoot for the next one, yeah.
And in third place, it's the Aston Martin Vantage V12 GT3 of the number 97 Frank Yu and Warren Luff.
Yeah, it was a little bit chaotic in that first lap, and had Alex Young sort of fire down the inside, and a few cars got a bit sideways in turn one, and then there was contact again with cars in front down at turn three, and I sort of had to run wide and go out, and lost another position there. And from there we were in sort of a pretty fierce battle with the Aston Martin guys next door, and it was one of those sort of battles where sort of I was stronger in some parts of the lap and he was stronger in other parts, and we sort of had a couple of moments where we came together. So it was good fun, but I think we sort of I think we struggled a little bit in terms of our race pace. But once we got some clear track, we were able to sort of push on quite well.
Anthony drove really well. The Ferrari was super fast in the straight. I couldn't defend him on the straight, and he took me in turn one. I believe it was turn one. And then I was after the other Ferrari. And unfortunately, we had a little bit of contact and put him out of the race. I feel bad about that, but and then Matt Solomon was chasing me for the past 4 laps, and yeah, we had no grip whatsoever, but I was doing defensive lines and finished the race in P3.
Story of the day for me though, Takuma Aoki. I watched him race in Grand Prix and in World Superbikes, and now to see him winning in GT Asia is just incredible. Well done to him. He wins the GTM class, and you can see the delight of the Japanese. Great start to the year then for 2014 GT Asia. And a look at the points. Anthony Yu and David Rizzo then out on top in that Ferrari, then Rob Bell and Hamaguchi. Luff and Yu, then Alex Yu and Solomon. They are going to be a factor, I'm sure, the Malaysian and the Hong Kong driver. And in terms of the team's championship, it's going to be tight, I'm sure. Spirit of Race get the victory ahead of Kraft, Bamboo, AMR, Clearwater Racing. Big names here. MB team also involved this year, 4 equal with Absolute Racing. And Delango Racing start off in 6th position after that first round. And in the GTM class, Aoki leads it now with that win. George back in 2nd place, equal with George Chow, Jackie Young in 4th. So, great competitive start to the 2014 GT Asia Championships. Great racing, some excellent cars on display, but congratulations So the leaders after round 1, Anthony Liu of China, Davide Rizzo of Italy, will take that Ferrari 458 into the lead. Until next time, from Korea, with me, Jonathan Green. Goodbye for now.